Maurice LaMarche and Rob Paulsen. I'm sure you guys all know what they've done. Rob is currently on his way from another panel, but we do have Maurice LaMarche right here. Maurice, if you'd like to come on stage. And Rob Paulsen just entered the building.
What's the secret of great comedy?
Timing.
There you go.
I'm sorry I'm late. I was actually replacing Maurice on a show. They were looking for
They knew more on Futurama.
Thank you very much for your patience.
You need a little something to drink, my darling.
Yes, I do. It starts with a V and it's spelled O-D-K-A. But it will look like this in just about an hour and a half.
Yes.
Zippity-doo-dah.
And we're going to go to those meetings, aren't we? You to yours and mine to Megalomaniacs Anonymous.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? So I know I speak for Rob because he's tired right now. We are so thrilled to be here for you. So thrilled that you have love for Pinky and the Brain, a show that hasn't been on the air in 20 years. And yet look at you.
Yeah.
And look at us.
No, not looking at us.
And we can still do the voices.
Yes, we
Sort
can.
of. Sort of. You pottery, man, pottery.
Well, I think so, Grant, but I never liked that stupid frickin' mouse.
Let me ask you something wacko, if I may, as a scientific genius.
Yackle, thank you.
The first question is for wacko.
Thank you.
Being yakko.
Thank you.
Being sacco.
Thank you.
Prozacco.
Mazzetti. Thank you.
Prozacco.
Let me ask you something,
Cracko.
yakko. It's the first question of the night. What the fuck kind of animal are you? Uncle Brain's been drinking again, kiddies. Ah, the French. This day has long been celebrated for
The
it.
thing that people seem to love the most, and I suppose I understand it because I'm a total geek nerd, whatever. But the thing that people love the most is when they hear their beloved cartoon characters swearing. Mo and I were a couple years ago at a con in Florida. And there was
Cover the children's ears.
Okay, there were a couple of Are there a lot of?
We have a lot of little ones. Because I've already said the F word.
Just one. So sorry. I'm sorry. Oh well. C'est la vie. But there was a sweet little girl who was taking our picture, and I thought that she was getting ready to take a still photo.
Oh God.
And you and I were there, and I was okay, they were smiling, here we are, smiling, and la la la. And they're waiting and waiting. She's holding the camera. I go, okay, all right, take a fucking picture. But I still don't, I guess I understand, but nonetheless, thank you very much. And truly, it is, Mo and I were lucky enough to do a little live show at the Plaza Theater last night.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And it was absolutely just a huge love fest. And the thing that is so incredibly amazing to me is just that, like Mo alluded to a bit earlier, is that the show hasn't been made for, I don't know, 15 years or something. It was the last one we made. But people still love it with Animaniacs and, of course, a lot of other... And so we feel so just incredibly blessed to be in a circumstance where we have this enormous fan base from literally 6 or 7 or 8 years old, the people who are watching Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain and things on the Hub now, and we had folks there yesterday who were in their 70s, and it was so great.
But they didn't know the show.
Yeah.
They didn't know their kids' names. But they knew the show.
They knew the show. But I don't know, would you guys, this is a great opportunity for us to sort of answer as many questions, and I guess the reason that we're here. So if you guys, do you just want to do a Q&A for the next hour? Is that okay with you?
Yeah. If you guys line up single file here, and sit one person at the mic, and the rest lay down.
And more than likely what will happen is that somebody will ask a question that will inspire an answer that inspires something else, and so we really are just totally here for you guys. Oh, right. Okay.
And I see my sister Dot over there. Hi. There may be more than one of them, and I don't know. Maybe my parents, maybe my dad was a little bit like to wander. What would you stand up, Dot? Where do you? Look at that. Oh. Hello, there's Dot.
Beautiful.
So now that two of you are here, I want to know, what did you do to my ceiling?
Because we like painting naked people.
Go ahead, sir. What is your name?
Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi. Hypothetically, let's say Brain succeeded in taking over the world, and you have to choose how he did it. How would he do it?
Go ahead, Brain, in 35 words or less.
Through love and humor. Yes. Uncle Brain's been drinking again. If I could figure out how Brain actually would succeed in taking over the world, I would be the Brain instead of a well-paid, chubby voiceover actor doing the role. The hook to the show, of course, is he can't succeed because then the show's over. We have to be able to come back every episode to him starting all over again, and really, I believe the message of the show was, and continues to be, don't give up on your dream. Yeah. We all must go back to the lab every night and prepare for tomorrow. The same thing we do every day, my friends. Try to take over our world. The day is persistence, and so I think that is the message of the show. And so Brain can succeed in taking over the world, although I've always felt that if Brain were to succeed, the world would be a better place.
Yes. I would say, what do we do now tomorrow night, Brain? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Prepare to be a greeter at Walmart. Hide my weapon.
But if you're a greeter at Walmart, be the best
greeter at Walmart. Yep, because I'm telling you what, I'm about this far from it. We have a very precarious life, but thank you for your question, my friend. I'd appreciate that.
And you can see Brain has succeeded in taking over Dragon Con already. So he's already completed the first step in taking over the world.
That's right. Thank you.
We've taken over Dragon Con.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, my friend.
Hello, Dot.
Hello, nurse. My question is about the jokes that were on Animaniacs. There were so many great ones, from fingerprints to hello, nurse, and everything.
Yeah.
My question is, from every joke that you have, from the simplest ones that even kids could understand to the dirtiest of adult jokes that deserved a good night, everybody. First of all, how did you guys come up with them? And two, were you guys allowed to get away with them as well?
I think, first of all, they were written. I mean, it wasn't, improv.
And speaking of writers, it's amazing. It's totally off center. You look like Dot, but you sound exactly like Sherry Stoner.
Yeah. She's like Sherry was she was the voice of Slappy Squirrel, and also
character she created, and also so she created this whole little niche for herself. But she wrote, she wrote Bubba Bo Bob Brain. She helped develop the Good Feathers. Yeah. We had, as Rob was saying, great writers on this show.
Writers. It really world-class talent. That's, I think, what made the show so successful for everything. I mean, it really did. The stars really aligned. You have world-class people, Mr. Spielberg and Gene McCurdy, and then you have Tom Ruger and all these folks behind the scenes who make this thing happen. And then they bring in, a 35-piece orchestra with Richard Stone at the helm, and writers like Deanna Oliver and Sherry Stone and Gordy Bresak and Charlie Howell and Peter Hastings. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So anyway.
But I think I think part of what helped us, you already said the name, part of what helped to get away with that was we had the weight of the Spielberg name behind us. Fox kids and later the WB just wanted to do anything to please Steven Spielberg. So I think, we got away with stuff.
Oh yeah.
It just wouldn't have flown on a cartoon show up to that point.
I think so too. And as I said, that stuff was virtually all written. But in terms of, I think the one that astonished me the most that got through was the fingerprints line.
Hey, I found prints.
Yeah, fingerprints. They bring Prince out, or was it Yakko or somebody's holding Prince or something?
The artist formerly known as.
Yeah, they cut to him and Dot goes,
I don't think so.
Well done. Yeah, and so that, but I think as Mo said, it's having Steven. And I don't know, the show was never a giant hit merchandising-wise. If you went to the Warner Brothers stores, it was great to be there, but the stuff was pretty much overpriced, and you could find the stuff oftentimes at a department store for less money, but it wasn't about that. It wasn't about making action figures and all that stuff. There's still stuff around, and it's great to find, but it really was about the art. And it really was about making a project that did not condescend to the audience. It was definitely in the same groove as Looney Tunes and Rocky and Bullwinkle, all of which Steven grew up watching. And so I don't think it's an accident.
You call him Steven?
I call him Steven because we bowl together. Did you not? Oh, you don't get the call? I'm so sorry. Actually, I call him Steve.
Does Uncle Brain need more drink?
Yeah.
That's right. What's that sound? That's Brain falling off the wagon.
Brain was on the wagon?
I will say there was one, I did get to meet Mr.
Yeah, that was just what's your take?
A couple times, but you guys, the Animaniacs actually got to have lunch with him, and apparently my
it's a great story, I'll tell you.
invitation got lost in the mail for that one.
Well, go ahead, now explain why.
Yeah, but he threw a couple of really nice parties on the Warner's back lot. And
unbelievable.
And he made sure to spend a good, 5 minutes with each team. So I got to meet him twice, once as a good feather, and once again as an Animaniac, as the Brain. So it was a lot of fun. He has that unique capacity as a human being to make you feel as though you're the only person in the room. Right. Nothing else is important. That is a true gift of the man, and I think it speaks to his focus, I think, which makes him a tremendous director, but also a terrific guy. So, that said, tell the story of the day.
Oh yeah, and plus he digs cartoons. The truth is he's totally into it. And
oh yeah, he had said that. He had said that he wanted to honor the Warner Brothers tradition. Disney did the feel-good cartoons, and Warner's did the funny cartoons.
Yeah, and we even, in the scoring sessions, we even used the same piano that Carl Stalling used on all the Looney Tunes sessions, was tuned every week.
The piano, we recorded in the same soundstage that the Warner Brothers classic cartoons. That orchestra, was about 35 members of the Los Angeles Philharmonic.
Killer players.
Recorded in the very same, it has the same room tone.
Yeah.
Because it is the same room where the Bugs Bunny cartoons were recorded when Carl Stalling, waved his baton. So when Richard Stone was there, we were in that room with that very piano. So that's why the cartoons sound like Warner Brothers cartoons. The musicality of it's brilliant. I got to watch a couple of sessions.
It's ridiculous. It's astonishing. But anyway, the story with respect to why Mo wasn't invited to lunch with Steve this is great. We have Jess Harnell, the beautiful, lovely Jess Wacko Harnell, had half a dozen beautiful leather jackets commissioned for Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, for Andrea Romano, the director, Tom Ruger, the producer, and Steven Spielberg. So there were 6 of them. And came to work, and the jackets are just astonishing. They're biker jackets, typical on the waterfront biker jackets, right? With incredibly airbrushed, beautiful Animaniacs logo. I bet I can get $20 for it on eBay easy. And so he had these made for everybody, and we had one for Stephen and said to Tom Ruger, when you see Stephen next to the next notes meeting or writers meeting, please make sure that you give this to Stephen with our love and our respect, and thank you for the gig, right? So the next day, when this happened at a recording session, I got a call from a young lady named Bonnie, and she said, "Hi Rob, this is Bonnie from Amblin." And I said, "Oh," and I thought somebody was screwing with me. And I said, "Oh yeah, hi Bonnie." And she says, "Listen, Stephen understands you have a gift for him through Tom Ruger and wants to know if maybe you just want to give it to him at lunch tomorrow out here at Amblin." And I said, "Geez, you know, I'd love to, Bonnie, but I'm too busy flossing my bowling ball." So I'm a smart ass. And she said, she laughed, and she said, "No, this really is Bonnie." And I just thought, oh shit, yeah, of course, yes, I'm sorry. She said, no, trust me, it happens all the time. And I said, well, and she said, don't have to explain. Would you like to come? Of course, great. So the Amblin office on the Universal lot looks like a Mexican restaurant. It's beautiful. It's like looking at an El Torito. It's gorgeous. It's beautifully, this beautiful old, adobe style, and you walk in, these big doors. And so I walked in, and Jess and I were sitting there waiting for Mr. Spielberg to come in with his, we had his jacket with him. And finally, Tress showed up. She was a little bit late. And the thing that I remember the most, two things, one of which was Tress is sitting there and was in a place where Stephen saw her as the first thing when he walked in. And so when Stephen walked in, the first thing he says is, he goes, "Tress!" and just hugs her. So I'm looking at Jess going, Jesus Christ, Tress! the director, the preeminent show business figure of our time knows Tress by her first name. Yeah. And it went to right what Mo was speaking about his ability to make you feel like you're the most important thing. So we got done and we did our thing, and that man did not take a phone call for an hour and 15 minutes. Didn't talk to anybody. He was there with Tress and Jess and Rob, and that was it. And treated us like rock stars, asked us about our ideas about the show, many of which were implemented later. And it was one of those, you call your mom and dad and say, "Guess what I just did?" And that is why nowadays, because I've had the good fortune of working with Mr. Spielberg on a couple of projects, and the present company included, people like Maurice, Tress, Sherry Stoner, a number of the people whom we have had the great honor and privilege of working with world-class talent who could screw with you if they want to, right? I mean, you really could. Steven Spielberg doesn't have to be nice. It won't affect his work, but he is. So now, when somebody comes into a session, and mind you, it's very rare, but when it happens, and I just get done working with somebody like Maurice and having had experiences with, Mr. Spielberg and all that, when somebody is an asshole, it's like this warp in the space-time continuum, because you want to say, dude, I know these people who can tap dance on you talent-wise, and they don't act like that. What's your story? So we are incredibly lucky to have done that, and this is just icing on the cake to be able to share those stories with you. So that's why you didn't get the invitation, Mo. There's nothing about you. You're just in a frickin'. I'll get you a jacket.
I'll tap dance on my own.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetie, and you did a great job on the costume. Hey, handsome. What's your name?
My name's Orion.
Hi, Orion.
What a cool name. You have your own constellation. Dude, my name is Cassiopeia. What can I do you for, my brother?
Well, first off, I just want to say that I really love your cartoons, and it's awesome. And
Can I just ask you, how old are you, sir?
I'm 12, and in a few days I'm going to turn 13.
Congratulations. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Orion is 12 years old, right? And you watch it on the hub? Or did you watch your parents?
Sometimes I watch it on the hub, but we actually bought all the
DVDs. Okay, so your parents have shown you the DVDs. It's exactly what I'm talking about, you guys. How rare is that? That is such a unique circumstance where you guys, Orion, I mean, I'm old enough to be just about your grandfather. right? But the beautiful thing about that is that he's here talking to us about Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, and his parents turned him on to the show, and it's timeless. That is so unique, and we're so grateful. So what is your question?
Well, I'm just wondering, what is it like seeing your voice, like the animated characters have your voice in them? Like seeing your voice
Come out of a
yeah, come out of the mouth of a character.
Magic. I'll tell you something. I was 19 when I did my first cartoon job in Canada for a company called Nelvana Films, because they're in Canada, so they wouldn't say Nelvana.
They say Nelvana.
They wouldn't say pasta. They say pasta.
And you don't sit on a couch, you sit on a Chesterfield. Right.
The pasta, Mazda.
Let's call the whole thing off.
It's called sabotage.
Please don't tell me I'll do it.
Don't say sabotage. Anyway, I was 19 years old, and I was working for Nelvana for this one-off special called the Easter Fever. And it was a roast of the Easter Bunny on a dais like this. Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live played the Easter Bunny. And I played Steve Martin as a horse, so I was Steed Martin.
That writer.
I was a wild and crazy horse. And then I was Don Rickles as a snake, so I was Don Rattles. Anyway, gang, I love you. So it was Don Rattles, and so, you know, I recorded it, and I was first time in a recording studio. Oh, this is neat, all this cushiony stuff on the walls, and oh, a microphone, oh, hey, what do I do? And, you know,
so as a child, you sounded like
I sounded like Bullwinkle Dee Boo. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. So, anyway, and then like I'd almost forgotten I'd done the job, and then it was coming on, it was Easter time, and I had that feeling of when the character opened his mouth, I was almost shaking. I was like, it's a 19-year-old guy, and I'm like almost shaking at the idea that, oh my God, that's me, and yet it's a snake, and yet it's Don Rickles, and yet it's me, and it was like, holy crap, you know, it was really a magical feeling, and I still get a thrill from it.
Oh.
You know, after a while, what happens is that the characters take on a life of their own. Like if I watch Pinky and the Brain now, I'm far enough away from it that I don't remember what I was thinking when I said those lines. You know, I take it. So the characters are separate to me now. We screened a couple episodes last night at our show at the Plaza Theater, and I watched them the way you watched them.
And they're funny.
Yeah. But
they're really good.
You get a group of people and you watch those episodes, and they are really funny. They laugh in the places that you would laugh if the show had a laugh track.
It was like being a Rocky Horror thing because they're singing the theme song, man. It was so cool. We've never done, and Mo and I have done a lot of shows together, you know, like this, or shows specifically geared to Pinky and the Brain, whatever. But to sit there in a room with people where they were doing that and singing it and laughing at the stuff together, it was great.
Yeah. So it was really quite phenomenal. So that's the feeling. It's truly a magical feeling when you hear your voice come out of an animated character's mouth.
It is, but you know what? To me, it is very wonderful, Orion. The coolest thing for me, though, I have to say, is coming to situations like this where we get to meet people whom we didn't, you know, we haven't had the pleasure of meeting. And all I have to do, and I've got all these wonderful folks, all I have to do is say, hello, nurse.
Hello, nurse. That's all I needed to do to take over the world. If only I'd known.
Brandon, if you consider saying hello, nurse, with that tone, you'll probably end up in prison. Not that that's a bad thing.
Or in a rehab ward. Hello. Can I have another Librium, please?
But no,
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
All right, are you good? Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
We'll try to move them faster because I know you guys are sitting down.
I'm sorry.
now.
Yeah, forgive me. I'll stop rambling.
All right, my question is, you guys have seen so much Western animation grow and evolve. What is the largest change that have y'all seen that's just changed the industry? Whether it be gradual or sudden. I mean, the shows you see on television today aren't the same as they were.
Yeah. Well, for my, I mean, I'm not an artist. I'm just an actor. I mean, and that's the thing is, I totally get it. These characters are, you know, we're very fortunate that we voiced them. And man, I don't draw them, and I don't write them, and it's a huge. It's all films are always a collaborative effort, but there are many people who are responsible for me being here, right? The biggest change I think I noticed is the fact that there's so much CGI stuff and we don't have traditional 2D cell animation anymore. And interesting, my child, who is 28 years old, really looks forward to a new Disney 2D traditional hand-drawn animation show.
Right.
I think because I think that visually is the biggest change. I work on a lot of shows. The new Turtles is CGI. I think it's great. I love it. And Jimmy Neutron was CGI and all that. Thank you. But in terms of technically, from my perspective, even though if you want to be an animation and a voice actor, you pretty much have to be in LA. There are a lot of folks I know who do primarily promo and commercial work who live pretty much anywhere they want in the contiguous 48 states, you know, and they do MP3s and, you know, I record auditions all the time in my car on my iPad and a little plug-in phone, and I mean, it's not, so to that extent, things have changed a lot from my perspective, but for me, it's mostly the visual stuff that's changed and the way they blow it out so quick. You know?
Right. I'm not watching as much animation as I used to. I don't know. My son is watching a lot of anime, and that's I feel a big turn that's taking place.
Lots of anime.
And you know, it's not my cup of tea. Although I'm sure
Or a cup of sake. Sake.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
Mr.
Couple of green
Kawasaki.
tea.
Mr. Sauerkraut.
We did this.
You did a stage reading of You Said a Mouthful last night.
There was an episode of Pinky the Brain called You Said a Mouthful at the Hack and Sack, Kicky Sack Sock
Sock Kicking Factory in
Yeah.
Sack, New Jersey. So I was just throwing back to that. No, I'm answering this one seriously. I don't know if it's been a good thing, the infiltration of anime. My son seems to be very into the stories and the interplay amongst the characters. Apparently, he's trying to explain it's somewhat dramatic, and there's a lot of weird powers that take place, and some people are dead and come back to life, and some people are the whole show takes place in heaven, and it's, I guess it's the natural evolution of the form. Nothing in nature abhors a vacuum. Animation can't stay the same forever. So it keeps making these turns. The biggest show going right now is Adventure Time, a show that is great. Our pal John DiMaggio is just enjoying rock star status from his participation in that as well as Futurama. But it's just that the form keeps unfolding, and now it's very simplistic line drawings, that sort of thing. That's what's happening in American animation. I don't know, again, where it's going or whether it'll be a good or bad thing. And we just have to just keep letting people or new artists come in and try what they want to try. And it'll, I remember when The Simpsons came along in 1989. It was like, how could cartoons become this?
Yeah.
Where a man chokes a boy, and the boy says, "Don't have a cow," and you should be watching the Cosby Show, Mister. And it's like now The Simpsons is tame compared to some things that are going on there. And actually, The Simpsons espouses over the past 20 years some true family values, because that's a family that stayed together and they all love each other. It's actually, and they go to church a hell of a lot more often than Cosby did. So we just, we're always sort of, we look askance at the new thing, then we embrace the new thing, then the new thing becomes the thing, and then it becomes, you know, the past as something else comes in. So, you know, I try not to judge it. I just know whether it reaches me or not, and you know, that's it. But I mean, the form always is ever evolving.
By the way, before I thank you for your question. Before I forget, my friend Wallace over there, Wallace Krebs, Maurice and I are doing a voice acting panel. Voice acting workshop tomorrow evening from 4 to 7:30, I think. And to the extent, I think there are probably 4 or 5 slots left, something like that. It is a paid thing, and it's not for everybody. I just thought we'd take this opportunity. If you're interested in your voice actors and it's something you'd like to do, Wallace has the information. And again, I repeat, it is not for everybody.
Not for everybody, and it's not inexpensive.
It's not an inexpensive thing, but it's an opportunity for you guys to spend 4 hours.
We are teaching. We are actually teaching what we know between the two of us with all humility. Okay, not much humility.
Not humility.
We have 3 Emmy Awards for voice acting per se, our individual performances, and we've learned a thing or two. And that's what we're going to be passing on tomorrow night.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested, Wallace has the information, and I just wanted to put that out there because I know we often get a few actors in the audience. But thank you very much for your question, sir.
Thanks
I
a lot.
appreciate
I'll
it.
answer you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, man. Hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
Reggie.
Hi, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
It's Reggie.
Oh, Reggie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, hi,
Reggie.
Reggie.
Sorry, Reggie.
Okay, in your opinion, what makes the Steven Spielberg cartoons of the 90s so beautifully unique and clever, especially in comparison to cartoons today?
Well, he had a vision.
Yeah.
You know, he came into it. I mean, he started out with Tiny Toons, and he just, you know, that was the sort of the first crack at continuing the universe of Bugs and Daffy and Porky Pig as it being a next generation kind of thing. So they created these new younger characters who were attending Acme University, you know. But Steven Spielberg wanted to preserve or revive the 50s Chuck Jones kind of feel of funny cartoons. He just felt
He's a fan.
He'd become. I remember him saying in an interview, you know, that he noticed that, you know, kids' cartoons were becoming commercials for toys.
Right.
G.I.
Essentially,
Joe, the
yeah.
Transformers, and he wanted a show that was at its core funny first, and then if there was any merchandise that was ancillary. So, you know, with Tiny Toons, it was the beginning, and then it evolved into this whole separate universe of the Animaniacs, you know, where those paths don't diverge. But he was very intent on spending money. The show looks gorgeous. He wanted to spend what needed to be spent to make the show look fantastic.
Yeah.
And it did have a great look. And again, it was that legacy of Chuck Jones and Robert McKimson and Bob Clampett.
Yeah, and they, and we talked about earlier, man, they had a music budget that was through the roof on every half hour. And music is so, well, we know.
Now you listen to the show, it's all on synthesizer.
Right.
I don't see any cartoons with it.
And-
It's on synthesizer.
And that is, and I understand why. It is not an inexpensive proposition. But to the extent that you have the luxury of having somebody like Steven Spielberg and his ability to get things done, it's incredible. And that's, I mean, there's a practical reason why that happens. And I understand what you're talking about. I know that it's hard to say that something is better as opposed to different. I'm very grateful that I've gotten to have 2 cracks at the Ninja Turtle franchise, right? So thank you. My biggest concern, I mean, first of all, I was incredibly grateful to get the job, but the reason I'm making this point is because when you look at the original turtle art of the show, you know, you kind of look at it and go, some of this stuff is really crappy. I mean, they would get the wrong bandana on the wrong turtle and the wrong voice coming out of the wrong character and all that stuff, because it got to a place where, and I'm, you know, very grateful to have been part of it, but often some of those giant franchises become 30-minute commercials to sell action figures. And I get that because I reap the benefits of it. And then, because nostalgia is such a powerful emotion, when the new Turtles was coming out and people would, you know, found out that I was lucky enough to get another crack at it, then I would run into people who would say, dude, I don't know if I can handle this new Turtle thing, you know. And I want to say, dude, the biggest problem in your life is whether or not you like the new Ninja Turtle franchise. You're a lucky son of a bitch, right? And so, but the thing that's been great is that they come out and they go, I love the new Turtles show. It doesn't look like the old one, but it has the same respect for the characters, the same respect for the audience, because it's being made by people who are a bit older than you, and they get it, okay? So, not everybody, A, has an incredible franchise to jump off of to make a new one, and not everybody has Steven Spielberg to, you know, make their thing. I would certainly submit to you that if Steven decided to make another cartoon for 7-day or 5-day-a-week television, it would be stupendous, because he's Steven, he has this incredible ability and the ego that allows him to hire people and turn them loose. He doesn't have, even though he's in everything, he doesn't micromanage, which I find incredibly wonderful for a guy who...
You mean lack of ego?
What's that?
You mean he has the lack of ego?
That's what I mean. He has the ego, I meant to say he has a healthy ego to the extent where he can say, I'm going to hire boom, 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 and then just say, do your thing.
He's great at delegating and getting the best.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too, if Steven Spielberg were to do something today, you can bet it'd be, you know, half again as good as whatever's on the air.
Right.
That's his thing, to just push the envelope and be, I hate saying push the envelope, did I just really say
Yeah. What an asshole.
It's such a hackneyed phrase.
You're such an envelope pusher, right?
Yes, I They all have to push envelopes for a living.
Yeah, no, but I hear your thing, and I certainly appreciate the compliment and the spirit in which you gave it, because I think the stuff is great. Clearly, like we had our friend Orion here, we know how that stuff is, our stuff, the stuff that we all enjoy is timeless. But a lot of it has to do, I believe, with, like when it's expensive. It's very expensive to do stuff. But the other side of that is that now you have all these platforms like YouTube and free platforms. If Reggie said, I'm going to make a cartoon. I'm going to get together a couple of buddies of mine, get a fairly inexpensive Flash animation program. I got a buddy who's a writer, we're going to put some stuff together, and boom, all of a sudden it's on YouTube, and millions of people have access to it. We know...
Annoying Orange, anyone?
Annoying Orange, you know, that's a great example. And clearly he annoys many of you. But
that's what happened with him. I mean, he's
totally. That guy had, Dane Bodenheimer, who produces The Annoying Orange, had 500 million hits on YouTube on his project that he put together in his garage with his buddies, and any network executive with a pulse is going to talk to him.
Yep.
And now it's got 1 billion hits. Oh, and he's also got his own show. Whether it's good or bad isn't really the issue to me. The issue is that you have, you know, and I work on it. And he's a lovely guy. But I look at that guy as going, wow, here's a guy who has really learned how to embrace the power of new media and all this stuff. Toby Turner, who is on it, right? You guys know Toby Turner because of his YouTube channel. And he's on Annoying Orange. He has millions of followers. Felicia Day. Felicia Day. Right? I didn't know who Felicia Day was a couple of years ago. I met her and I thought, what a lovely young lady. And this is, she has 3 million Twitter followers. What? And, you know, not because I just don't, how does that happen? And people like our friend Chris Hardwick, all these people are right, and they're figuring. So I know I'm going off on this tangent, but the point is that you say, in the traditional sense of why it is you like Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain and all that stuff, is the short answer is that it's very expensive to make those things like that. Right?
So we've got like
I'm sorry,
people,
I ran
17 minutes.
right.
So we're going to move.
Thank you for your question. Sorry.
I promise to answer in short form.
Yes. Thank you, Rain. Hey, dude, what's happening?
Not much. How's it going?
Good. What's your question?
If you guys had the chance to redo Pinky and the Brain, would you do it?
Never.
In a heartbeat.
Of course.
No, never.
It would be a huge gift.
I don't know who, I mean, I have been walking around this business for 15 years going,
How do we do that?
how do we get to do it again? Do we do it as a feature film? Do we do it as webisodes? Does somebody fix up for somebody? The problem is the rights are so tied up. Steven Spielberg owns half of it. So whenever Warner Brothers, or Steven gets the idea to do a film, both of them go, well, why would I work that hard to make 50 cents on the dollar?
Yeah.
And that's really it's the accountant's answer to why there hasn't been Pinky and the Brain, the motion picture, and there has been a Smurfs picture, or two. So that's why, because it's a natural for the big screen. Can you imagine Pinky and the Brain going off on an awesome adventure to find the infundibulator battery that will work, and then along the way they encounter every celebrity or whatever, Muppets movie style, or if it's all CGI or whatever. I mean, it'd make a fantastic feature film. But A, I don't know if you'll ever see it because of the rights issue, and B, if you do see it, it probably won't star LaMarche and Paulsen.
Yeah, they'll get
go celeb.
They'll get Jamie Foxx.
Right, you've got to run Jamie Foxx.
I like Jamie. Maybe they'll get him.
Great.
Jamie Foxx and Justin
Morgan
Bieber.
Freeman and Jamie Foxx.
No, but thank you, buddy. I hope so. And yes, of course, absolutely. We consider it an incredible honor to do it, and I would do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, next question,
Yes,
my
sir.
friend.
Thanks, bud.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I love how they're all just scooching up on their butts. It's like a
You
bobsled.
guys are
It's
so
like it's like carpet bobsled time. Go for it.
Yeah.
Hi guys, my name's Lawson. One of my favorite episodes of Pinky and the Brain is the one where you guys basically do a scene-by-scene spoof of the film The Third Man.
Yeah. The Third House.
I love that film. And my question was, one of the reasons why I love it actually is the fact that it even exists. Because it seems such a weird, unique thing to do in a children's cartoon show.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg? Yeah.
And
Actually,
the writers.
that one is Gordon Bress, actually.
Yeah, but the fact that Steven can get away with that stuff.
Yeah, no, because it's true. Spielberg would probably, the network would probably say, "This is go over everybody's head." And Spielberg would go, "It's an homage."
Trust me, they'll
Trust
dig
me,
it.
It's an homage,
Yeah.
So, I love that episode too. And
Thanks for bringing that up.
I had seen The Third Man a couple of times before we did the episode.
Yeah.
In fact, Gordon told me he was writing the episode, so I made sure to give it a watch. And I was like, "This is brilliant. This is genius."
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for picking up on that, dude.
Yeah. It's like, my question was, just kind of explain how it came into existence, and you did, so thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Scooch up! Everybody scooch!
Hi, I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. I'm the Green Lantern. What's up?
Well, my question was, what are some techniques either of you two do to get a character for a role?
Any role or Pinky and the Brain?
Well, either one.
Mine is primarily it's kind of marrying the visual that they give me, and less and less often now am I being shown. Do you find this when you're reading for new shows? They don't show you the art.
Yeah, not as much anymore.
I used to in the '90s and the '80s. You always saw a character sketch, and I would look at the
Different
sketch.
angles.
Yeah, and they'd show you what they call a model sheet, and I would always kind of just kind of absorb the guy or the animal or whatever it is, and then kind of like crawl up into him like a costume.
Ew.
And, I said a costume, not like I'm crawling inside a live animal.
Don't knock it till you try
Are you still in touch with Richard Gere?
Look, there's the top of
Look,
his brain going,
I did the comedy sip. I took the sip of water after I said the funny thing. Still in touch with Richard Gere, Pinky? That's your
Comedy
secret
genius
laugh
right
while
here,
I take
baby.
The comedy sip.
Yeah,
No, but really, I try to inhabit the character, and now it's primarily a words medium, and they don't give you as much, so you just kind of reach inside and go, what's in the wheelhouse? So, but I always try to physicalize, if I've got a character that I know, the Brain was, he looked like Orson Welles to me. So he had that, sort of just, yes.
thing, his face just got...
Yes, always, my friends, get me a jury. So, that's my technique. Robert?
Well, because I just love Maurice so much and I'm such a huge
No,
fan of his.
no.
Now watch this.
Stop.
One of the
Five
reasons,
more questions.
I know, but you got to see this because you will love this. One of the cool things about Mo, because he's such a consummate professional, is a world-class impressionist. Watch his face. Watch his face when he becomes Peter Falk. Watch this.
As you wish.
Isn't that amazing? Never gets old. Incredible. You know, and it's not trite. I say the same thing. You look at stuff, and we're actors, and you make your choices, and you commit to them, and I pretty much do it the same way Mo does. So thank you for asking. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Is your butt numb?
All right. What timing? When are we going to get the second coming of commercials featuring Orson Welles?
Second coming of which?
Of commercials featuring Orson Welles.
Oh, you mean like as we're on the critic?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Or brings pseudo-narration via Orson Welles.
Goodness, I don't
Well, by the
know.
way, speaking of commercials, we got 10 minutes? Okay. You folks do know that you are in the presence of the voice of Lexus automobiles. He really is.
The heartbeat of an exhilarated driver is unmistakable. Exhilaration doesn't care what seat you're sitting in. The relentless pursuit of perfection. The Lexus GS at your Lexus dealer.
So, not only can he spoof commercials, he gets the big cake for really doing them.
I don't know when the next, you're talking about Rosebud. Rosebud frozen pea. With a country goodness and green penis. Wait, I can't believe that I said that. That's terrible. I'm leaving. All right, just a handful for the road. Oh, good. I found a French fry in my beard. That's thanks to Mike Reese and Al Jean on The Critic. I mean, you know, the primetime animation is the only place you get away with that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a way to go.
There you go.
Just to create my own Orson Welles CGI and just have him be the spokesman for everything. Maybe I'll put that on my YouTube channel.
Why not?
Orson for everything. I mean, you know, let's do that. That'd be fun. Why not? Thanks a lot. Thanks for the suggestion.
Before I forget, I want to tell you very quickly, because I know that you guys, a lot of you like hearing from voice actors. For those of you who don't know, I do a podcast called Talkin' Tunes, right? It's easy to access. It's free. It's TALKIN_tunes, TOONS. So you can go to robpaulsenlive.com and access it, or there's a Talkin' Tunes app for iPhone or for Android devices, or you can, of course, get it on iTunes. But you guys will really dig it. Maurice, Billy West, Mark Hamill, John DiMaggio, everybody whom you'd want to hear from is on it. It's free. It's great information. You'll laugh your ass off, and it's really worth it. So thank you for letting me plug it. Yes, sir. What's your name?
Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Hi. I know you guys have been in voice acting for a really long time. I mean, I grew up watching the show Speaking Brain Animaniacs. And I was wondering, is there any like current properties out right now that you would like, are not a part of, but you would like to do?
That I would love to be a part of?
Yes.
Oh my God, if I could be on Futurama. It's true.
Too late, Pinky! Futurama has been destroyed! We got one more episode left. Watch Wednesday night on Comedy Central. And I don't know if you watched the show, you know that there's always a gag that goes across the screen as we open with that starburst into the ship. Pay attention to this Wednesday night's little gag credit at the beginning of the show. I won't tell you what it is, but you'll laugh. It's a great one. We would love to have you on. And I want you to know, I kept pitching you. I kept saying,
ain't nobody catching, bro.
It took me 4 years to get Craig Ferguson on the show. So, I mean, you know.
Who likes Pinky in the Brain, by the way?
He's a huge Pinky in the Brain fan and a good friend of mine, and it still took 4 years to get him on the show. You know, I've always wanted to do a Ninja Turtles. I'd love to be part of Ninja Turtles.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Oh, great. All right.
Yeah.
I'll take care of it. Done.
Yeah, would you? We reach a mutual admiration society.
Thank you, truly. Futurama was the one that I would love to.
Yeah, well, and if it comes back, write your congressman. Write Netflix. Tell Netflix you want them to become.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, send a quick blast off to Amblin and talk about how much you love a Pinky in the Brain movie.
Yeah, we do. We're going to try and get everybody in, so we got 5 more minutes.
Hey, sweetie.
3 more questions. Okay.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure, honey. Thank you for having us.
My question was if the Animaniacs Pinky and the Brain short with Brain in the voiceover studio doing the Frozen Peas, was that put together from your outtakes in the recording studio, or did they actually write that?
They wrote that as an episode. Again, only because Steven Spielberg was at the helm could they do a $200,000 inside joke. At the time, only voice actors and engineers were aware of the Frozen Peas outtake tape that had been circulating since the late 1970s of Orson Welles having a hissy fit doing Frozen Peas commercials in England for this food that still, this frozen food company called Findus, which still exists. And they knew how well I did it. Oh look, I'm being a bitch.
Would you tell your parole officer that you're busy? Brain.
Someone's texting me to say you're on stage right now. So anyway, they wrote it as a little tip of the hat to me in the way I always did that.
Spot on.
That shtick. And they just fixed the swear words.
And I think, can I tell you very quickly, I know we don't have time. We're actually doing another Pinky in the Brain thing tomorrow, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you can't make, but last night we did our thing, and Maurice did the whole thing last night.
Start to finish.
Start to finish, and didn't miss a freaking beat, and it is priceless.
So it's that. That's based on a real tape that exists. They just wrote it for me.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thanks so much.
I love your tats, by the way. Hey, dude.
Hi, how's it going?
Fine, thank you.
Of all the characters you've portrayed, which were your favorites, and which do you feel have been the most underrated?
Each of us?
Yes.
All right. I think, honest to God, I've had such an embarrassment of riches. I really am, with all due respect to Lou Gehrig, I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I think that it's tough to say. I would probably have to say Pinky, only because I won an Emmy for the show. I spent an enormous, thank you. Big deal for me. The one that I think was probably most underrated is I did a show years ago that really is, what's that? Coconut Fred. Coconut Fred. Honey, there's not enough Darvocet in the world. I have my son's favorite show, which I thought was quite excellent too. Not just my character, but the show was a show I did called Mighty Max. Yeah. J. and Tim Curry, and oh my God, what an incredible, really great story, interesting animation. So that's mine.
Absolutely the Brain for me. You know, it was the richest character ever done because we discovered he has a good side, and a soft side, and a loving side, as well as a curmudgeonly side. And for me, I always regretted that Captain Sinian and the Space Monkeys didn't go as more. Just as a show. I mean, I love my characters of Splitsy and Dr. Splits, but just as a show, you know. And that last guy, wait. Did you have a question?
We can make it.
We can do it. Come on. So that's it. Come on, answer your question. I want to get every question. I hate watching the guy that asks a question not to his question. Go.
You guys. I wanted to ask you, when you were in the voiceover booth, how closely were you guys working together in both developing your characters and working through scenes while you were recording?
We always worked off of each other. We could always see each other.
Always.
And we sat about this close doing the show. So we would just, you know, trade off, and I think, you know, I picked up a lot of cues from you, and you could see, you know, when Brain was getting a little annoyed, and I think that caused you to bring your game up a little in terms of the annoyance.
No, there's no question. I mean, that old phrase that a high tide raises all boats. I'm better when I'm working. You make me want to be a better mouse. It's true. I'm a better actor when I'm around world-class actors. I'm not one of those guys that gets, I'm a big golf nut. I love playing golf with guys that can pound me because I end up being better. Pound me after 2 or 3 drinks. Now there's a joke about a stiff shaft and all that. I know, balls, come on. People, you awful people. But truth is, I love to play sports with good players, and the same thing with actors. I don't get, and not even intimidated, or it's like, I don't want it to be about me. I really love it. When I'm in a room with Billy and Mo and DiMaggio and Tress, you know, it's just these people make me better. And it's always preferable from an acting standpoint, I know, to have the other actors with us. Yeah. It unfortunately doesn't happen as much now because sometimes people have to be other places and all that stuff, but
budgetary reasons,
right,
whatever it is.
If we can have everybody in a room together working, it's way better.
The show grows because we feed off each other's energy.
Yeah. So. Does that answer your question?
Oh, definitely. You guys are the best.
Thanks. You got all the questions.